Eyiogbe, Pataki, the Red Rose and Eyiogbe. Pataki. Once upon a time, there was a man who fell madly in love with a princess and besieged her so much, until he told her one day that he was madly in love with her, and she told him that he was not her height, that she was inferior, because she was a princess, and he also told her that he would only get her when he was rich enough to make her happy. Said man went to distant lands where, experiencing hardships and disappointments, little by little, he became rich. One day, after walking that land, he entered the forest to try to increase his fortune, with its wealth, and there, he ended up becoming immensely rich. Working in this way, every time he remembered his beloved, he was overwhelmed by great sadness and began to sing a strange melody, which was heard by a nightingale who lived in those places and who, enraptured by that melody, began friendship with said man. The man told his sorrows to the nightingale, and the nightingale asked him to teach him the melody, and thus they became great friends. But one fine day, the man disappeared and the nightingale became very sad. When the man arrived in his land, he immediately appeared before his beloved, telling her everything that had happened and that he was already very rich, and that he was coming to marry her. So she told him that he should bring her a red rose, to formalize the marriage. She knew very well that, in all that region, there were no red roses. She told him so to delay the marriage. The poor man did not realize that this was a mockery on her part and that she did not love him. He goes out to look for the red rose thinking that he would get it easily, but no matter how much he walked he could not find it, so, disconsolate and dejected, he went to the forest, and as soon as he arrived, he began to whistle that strange melody, which instantly was heard by the nightingale who, very happy, comes out to meet him, and just seeing him, understands the state of anguish in which his friend finds himself. The nightingale tells him that since he had left, he was very sad since he did not listen to his melody and did not notice his presence. The man tells him about the anguish that he was going through, and what was the real reason that has led him to the forest. Then the nightingale takes a white rose and tells him, "Look, take this rose to her, and if she loves you, she will find this very beautiful rose." But he says no, it has to be a red rose. The nightingale says, "Look, go to rest, I'm going to pray so that tomorrow you find a red rose." When the tired man fell asleep, the nightingale climbs on top of a white flower and pierces the heart with his thorn, staining the white rose with his blood, leaving it completely red. The man wakes up in the morning, and the first thing he sees is that beautiful red rose, and he tears it off and runs to the palace, without realizing that, at the foot of the rosebush, his friend the nightingale is already lying dead on the ground. He only thought that a miracle had been performed by the prayers of his friend, and not realizing the sacrifice that he had made. The man appeared at the feet of his beloved, with that beautiful red rose, and she then tells him, "I never loved you, I only put this condition on you, thinking that you would never get it, but the reality is, that I do not love you, and why therefore, I cannot marry you." When the man heard this, he understood that all his sacrifices had been in vain. The person who comes up with this Ifa is told that all the sacrifice he can make for others will be in vain. He may even lose his life, without realizing that others, no matter how much he sacrifices himself, they will never take him into account. And, remember, if you want to learn, you have to know how to listen. To obtain these audios, contact the email that I leave below in the description. Thank you.